Dimension W, Episode 2, Loser. Now, because I ended up watching Episode 7 first and just totally, throwing myself off, I decided I am just going to watch this show and kind of go through the episodes and, try to catch up and just watch it as it premieres. And I'm really glad I did that because Episode 2 was really freaking good. Like, I liked the first episode, but I think this one, honestly it kind of doubled what I enjoyed about the first episode. We get to meet the loser, who is, he starts off really funny because it's like, oh, he's this art thief who never steals the art, so that was funny in itself. And then we see when he first attacks the people, he gets like a 9-hit combo or something silly like that. He has a belt which has to be inspired by the Legion from DC Universe, like the Legion of Superheroes from like the future. And if you just look up like Legionnaire DC, I guess you'll see it. But it's literally just a gold circle with a golden L and it's black. And I'm like, that has to be inspired by it. And the place they went to looked a lot, and this is going to be super silly, but it looked a lot like the Madison Cube Garden from Futurama. And I was like, this has to be based on that. It could, it could be, it could just be they just made it look like that because it looks cool. But that's what I thought, and it kind of, the other reason I think it may have been inspired is because of the belt. And if that wasn't inspired by the Legion of Superheroes from DC Comics, then that's just insanely coincidental, because it looks exactly like it, except if I remember right, the Legionnaire symbol has like a little star in it or something like that. So I like the character. So he started off super funny, and then he got super awesome later on because he is pretty cool, because he's, skating on water with all these coils. We find out, because they do the face reveal in the first episode, he shows up, so we see that his face is completely destroyed. Like, he's basically burnt, like, I guess, like, 80-90% of his entire face is just destroyed. Excuse me. And I guess it was the right side of his face had like the little gold things to basically hold his face in place, because the other side still had like a bit of skin, but on the other side you could like see his teeth going like all the way back. And I was like, that's really awesome they did that reveal, because when he first showed up I was like, I wonder if that's his real skin, because you could see that he was burnt up. And I was like, I wonder if he's really burnt up, or if it's just like a mask, a little cosmetic stuff underneath the mask to make it harder to tell who he is. And also he has like green eyes, so those could be like super future contacts or something, I don't know. But they did the face reveal, and we find out he knew who Kyoma was, which was very interesting. We see Kyoma do some crazy stuff, and he talks about like this secret organization, Grendel or whatever, and how they disbanded after like this crazy war that took place, and how Kyoma was a part of this group. And because when he was running next to him and they mentioned like, oh, he's got no coils, I'm like, this guy's like skating on water with jets and stuff. And we'd kind of seen it before in the last episode, because he did take on a bunch of people. It's like, it kind of has to happen. But he also, that could just be pure skill and stuff like that. But he also did a jump in this episode that was at least 10 feet. Like, he jumped about 10 feet high and probably like 15-20 feet across. And I was like, he did a super leap, so he has like super strength, and they acknowledge that, which I found very interesting. I was like, that's actually kind of cool. And so whoever this guy is knew who he was. Maybe he wasn't a part of that organization, but he was involved in some way with the organization that Kyoma used to work for, because he's like, these people, New Tesla, continue to cover up really dark events, so we're kind of on the same side. I lost basically my whole family. I only have my son left, and I lost his, like arms and my legs, my wife and my daughter. So this guy's been destroyed by this company, and they covered up whatever the incident was, which I'm assuming kind of relates to what we actually got to see in this episode, which is a dimensional tear when the illegal coil breaks apart and it starts to just like collapse in on itself, which I thought was amazing. I thought we were also going to get a really awesome fight scene, but we didn't get that, like the end fight where the guy basically had like Playboy bunnies come in, which I thought was kind of funny. But They come in, and Kyoma took them down in like what, 2 strikes or something. With what we find out is basically maneuver gear, because when he throws them on the light, throws the needles on the light post, he just zips up. I was like, oh, he's got maneuver gear and everything. So it was really cool. I was hoping for more of a fight, but we still got a very awesome result from that battle, because the loser gets whatever he's looking for. And I do believe they mentioned that it's a numbered coil, or it's a specific type of coil, and it's one of the numbers. So he got what he was looking for, which, even if that's the only one, that means we'll probably get some answers next time he shows up. And then we have Kyoma, who tried to save the curator, who, for whatever reason, was using illegal coils for those robots. And I kind of want an answer. Hopefully we get one in this next episode. But I was like, why would he, as like the curator of a museum, need illegal coils for his robots? Because they haven't really explained if they give them more power or anything like that, or if he wasn't technically allowed to have robots, or maybe he just wasn't in the budget to get 2 more coils. I really don't understand why, like, this guy who I would think makes enough money, even if he bought them personally, would be able to do that. But I guess you just can't have, robotic bodyguards, even if they're meant for the museum. Although they clearly weren't only meant for the museum, because he shut everything down. It's like, I can't let anyone see what's about to happen. So I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. He's not allowed to have personal guards, but that was something that happened, and I'm just like, curators, I would assume, make quite a bit of money. You're the head of a place that has like priceless artifacts. I think you're pretty well covered, and they have a bit of a budget for security. They had all the cops. Why not have defensive robots and stuff? So it just kind of confused me. So maybe we'll get an answer as far as some of the other laws or things like that in the next episode. But it was still really cool, because when he tried to set it off, I thought what was going to happen was the robot was going to like get up and turn evil, because the eyes like got all crazy. I thought they were, at least that one was going to get up and start trying to kill them both. But it got even worse than that, I think, because it's honestly hard to tell if death would have been worse or better for that guy, because he gets sucked into this crazy dimensional repetition where the face keeps like forming in on itself, and then he gets pulled in. And when it first happened, I was like, oh, his face is like split up a little. And then they show the whole thing, and his face is just like the robot parts, where it's like different parts of his face, or the same like half of his face is all over this weird blob thing, and yet he's still alive. And I was like, that is freaking insane. And it's like a dimensional rift inside of him or around him. I mean, I don't know, it's multiple parts of him, but it's the same part. So it's just a disaster what he's in right now, and I'm assuming he's not making it out of that, but he's still alive currently. So that was really cool, very crazy. Albert shows up again. I'm assuming every time Kyoma is in a bit of a disaster involving, Dimension W, Albert's gonna come in, and it's like, oh man, crazy. We'll clean this up. We're old buddies. Get out of here and you'll be fine. Because so far that's kind of how they seem to be doing it. But certainly enjoyed this one for sure. We got to see Mira actually become a part of the whole collector squad thing, so she's gonna of course be working under Kyoma. He's supervising her, although she was totally doing her own thing in this episode, which was pretty cool. I love the scene when she jumped on the people's car. I was like, man, she kind of screwed their days up, because I'm pretty sure you have to pay quite a bit of money to have your airbags redone, and she just stepped on it. And I love the fact that it was like the ultimate form of protection. It was an airbag on the roof, out of the sides, and out of the front. Those people were just like, boom, and completely enclosed. I was like, that sucks for them. Their car's all messed up now. So I thought that was really funny. But she mentions having gone to a regular coil in this episode, and that might be why her jumping ability isn't as good. I thought that was really interesting, because I figured that it was all the same. Ultimately, maybe hers would last longer, if that's even a thing, because of course I have no idea at this point. But it surprised me when she mentioned that, and it's like, oh, I went to a regular coil. So, based on what happened in the premiere, I don't think she can go back to her original coil. But I also don't think that she used an illegal coil, also because she had the opportunity when she took the little one, or when she took the entire case, I mean. So I don't think that'll be the case where she can go back, but maybe they'll find a way and make her even more powerful, because I'd like to see that. I don't know if it would really change too much, but at this point she couldn't. It was because of the fireworks jamming the signal, but we kind of got to see her do some sort of low level, I guess, robotic techniques, like just jumping across, and she basically scanned the patterns of the birds, which I thought was actually really cool. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing her have some more of her abilities during certain cases where she can scan certain stuff and maybe, see through walls if that's a thing. But I'm really looking forward to it. Certainly love this episode. Had really cool action. Started off super funny with the Lucy character, then it got insanely serious where, he knows how dark New Tesla really is and what Kyoma's kind of been involved in, and how they hide insanely crazy secrets and disasters, like what we saw, what happened with his face, and somehow that happened to him and his family as well. So definitely a great episode, kind of revealing some little hints here and there, and I'm looking forward to it. We got a nice little glimpse of Kyoma like in the past, and we see some silhouettes and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool, and we just see some of the people that were a part of his team. But I'm looking forward to it. I think this was definitely a great second episode. Really looking forward to the next one. But of course, definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And I have to ask what you guys think is going to happen with this loser character. Because he starts off, it's like, oh, funny, silly character who can never steal art or anything like that. And then it turns out that that's never what he's trying to do. Every piece of art, for whatever reason, has one of these coils in it. I'm assuming they were all numbered. And also, another little reference, it was 007 was the number on the coil. So, I feel like everything I think was a reference in this episode. Because it's like, well, that was probably a reference, but so is that, and then this other thing. So I'm pretty sure all those were references. But all of these pieces of art have coils in them. And that means something. Like, he's trying to get revenge, and he seems to be pretty good at it. I mean, he's mostly robot. He has all the technology. He has, whatever those skates were where he was, like, floating across the water, which looked really great. And then, like, the speed boost stuff that he used, he has, he's almost completely robotic when he, like, scratched the thing open. I thought that looked kind of cool. But it seems like he has the potential to be really funny when he first starts out because of the public appearance that he has. But then we get to the Kyoma, side of the storyline where it's like this guy kind of connects with him, and then we get like the really deep stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think he might lead us to some pretty great reveals. So I definitely want to know what you guys thought about the character's introduction and some of the stuff he kind of mentioned and what we got to see, basically as a result of his attempted. Well, I guess he stole it. He stole what he was looking for, so it wasn't the whole art thing, but. The results, some of the create, especially the dimensional rift thing, results from him him getting to steal the numbered coil. So, I'm looking forward to this next episode. This is a really cool series. I love the animation, which I mentioned before, but it's just really good, and I'm very excited to see where this story expands to. And I looked it up recently. The manga has like quite a few chapters. It's been going since 2011, and it's ongoing currently. So, looking forward to seeing this continue for a couple of seasons. Hopefully, it does get enough, because I don't think I've ever watched an anime outside of like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto that have really had multiple seasons. I always end up finding the ones that are only like 20 episodes or something like that. I guess technically Soul Eater does, because that has 52, so it technically had 2 seasons, but. I hope this does go on for quite a while, because it seems like a great new sci-fi anime that is kind of filling an interesting void that is always there to me, at least in the anime universe. I mean, as far as manga, there's a ton of manga that just don't have anime right now, of course. So, as far as the anime goes, anime side of things is filling a bit of a void to me. But certainly love this episode. Like I said, definitely want to know what you guys think about this loser character, his funny sides, definitely his serious sides and what that can lead to for the show as well, and what you guys just thought about this episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.